So today we are going to be developing our knife skills, and I'm going to show you a series of cuts and introduce you to some terminology. So I've got some carrots, some celery and some peppers I'm going to cut up today. I'm going to start by cutting batons. Okay, so I've washed my hands already. So always make sure you've got the right knife to use. It's better to have a sharp knife. Sharp knives, believe it or not, are safer to use. So I've just peeled the carrot. I'm just going to trim the ends off. And I'm going to cut these. First of all, I'm going to use what's called the bridge technique. So you make a bridge with your non-cutting hand and you hold the carrot in between, keeping your fingertips out of the way, and you're going to place the knife down the centre to cut in half. You've now got a flat base to place down, so it's not going to roll around now. And then I'm going to use the bridge again this time to cut down the centre again. And there we have batons. Okay, so they're nice and evenly, so they can be used for dips, so you can use them to dip into dips. Okay, so there's your batons. For this bit, I'm now going to, let me just cut the batons again. And once you cut batons, you can then dice it. So dice tend to be a little bit smaller than a dice that you roll. So this time I'm going to be using the claw technique. So this time the claw, your fingertips are out the way. You make as if you've got an animal with claws. You keep your fingertips out the way, and the knife is guided up and down the knuckle. If you have your fingertips out, you are going to cut your fingertips off. Okay, your fingers off. So fingertips out the way. Remember, don't just press down. It's forward and backwards for cutting. Okay, so let me show you again. So fingertips out the way. And again, they should be equally sized. So that's the claw technique. Okay, so fingertips out the way, and the bridge technique is making a bridge, an arc with your hand, placing the knife in between and slicing it through. Okay, so there's the diced. What I'm now going to do is I'm now going to use a pepper. Now, different people cut peppers differently. I'm going to show you how I cut mine. So I'm going to cut the bottom off first of all, so using the claw technique just to cut the bottom off, and that way I can then see where the seeds are. If I place it upside down, I can just slice off each side and I can work my way around sort of the white sections in the middle. And then all I can do is just discard the bit with the seeds. Okay, if you've got any white bits here, you can then just pull it out with your fingertips. You don't need to use a knife because it's quite soft. Okay, I'm going to start with julienne. So I can still do the same with batons. So that would be batons of peppers, but actually julienne are a lot thinner. Okay, so julienne is normally be used in things like stir fries. So they're just like batons, but a lot thinner. So again, using the claw technique, with my fingertips out the way, I slice forward and backwards, make a nice clean cut. And these are going to be a lot thinner, so they'll cook a lot quicker. So yeah, they're used in stir fries. So there is juliennes. So obviously a lot thinner than your batons. Okay. And I could do exactly the same with a carrot. So if I was to come and grab a baton of carrot and I make this into a julienne, I could just slice it into thinner slices. Okay, so think about a stir fry, all those vegetables cut into smaller, thinner pieces. So it's called julienne. Now once you've cut your julienne, I'm going to bring my carrot back again. You can then cut, so turn it 90 degrees, and this time I'm going to cut what's called brunoise. Okay, and these are tiny diced. Okay, so you cut your brunoise once you've cut your julienne. So again, turn it 90 degrees, and they are tiny pieces. Okay. Now this could be used for decoration. So when you've made a dish and it's a bit of colour, isn't it? And it's going to not be too much when you eat it, but it can then be sort of scattered on top of a dish. So they're called brunoise. I can do exactly the same with some pepper. Using the claw technique to control, and I want them into tiny pieces. Peppers as a brunoise would be great for like a starter, scattered on top of things. Alright, so there's your brunoise. Okay, so now imagine I've got a carrot here. Next thing I can do is just called oblique. Now oblique just means sort of on the angle. So this could be used where in a soup. So rather than having big sections, I'm going to cut it on the angle. And then I roll it each time, rolling so the angle is going to be different. It's going to be at a different angle. Obviously, bigger pieces are going to take longer. So that's called oblique. As you can see, they're just angled pieces of a cut. And then I've got celery here, or I could use a carrot. And the other one you can use is sliced, where you just slice it down. Okay, so it's just a vertical line. So that's sliced. Okay, you would normally remember or know slice as in sliced carrot. Okay, so I can do the celery in exactly the same way for the brunoise or the diced or the julienne or the oblique. So for baton, I'm just going to cut it in half. For diced, cut it in half. Out the way. Okay, so there's some diced, and then I can do the same for julienne and brunoise. So I'm going to baton first, and I can cut it in half again. I could even try and trim that in half again, for brunoise, and then tiny pieces for brunoise. Okay, so you can practice your knife skills for a variety of dishes that you may be cooking, but so you can remember the terminology of each of them, and I'm going to show you that now.